Yo, 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 it's your boy Uncle Pre with another episode of the Unfiltered podcast. I'm here again doing another solo session. This time I'm going to be talking about what it's like to be growing up with potential. And the reason why I want to touch base into this particular topic is because me personally, I have felt going through life from a young age to where I'm at right now. Sometimes we're ingrained with this whole concept of having potential, and what that can actually do for us long term is really, in the more extreme cases, it can be quite traumatic, but in other circumstances it can be quite detrimental towards our mental health and our aspirations and everything else we want to achieve in life. You know, so when you have that potential, or when it's like put on your case that you're gonna be everything you're meant to be, you're gonna reach the heights, you're gonna be very successful, all of that shit, it can be really quite detrimental moving forward if you don't necessarily meet that potential. All right, so I want to take you back to my childhood. And like, I grew up in this, well, my family background, sick, love the upbringing I had, but one of the biggest challenges I personally had to face was, I'm this golden child. I naturally had this gift where I was quite smart. All right, I won't sugarcoat it, I was quite smart. So growing up, I had great predicted grades. Primary school, I stood out. I don't think we had like a head boy or anything back then, but I did. You know, I did stand out in terms of, like, we got awarded plaques, and I think I remembered once upon a time, like, I was on, as soon as you walked in through our gates, through the main door, you'd see my photo there with another student, and we had some plaque. I don't know what it was, but yeah, quite gas, you know, and, you know, loved every minute of it. Couldn't complain, you know, did well in school. I think when I was playing cricket in like year 5, I used to play for the year 6 team. But going in regards to, like, say, the more educational front, I had these predicted grades and they didn't, well, I don't know what the rating was, but I did okay. But I didn't get into the school I wanted to. And I think this is where it first started kicking in. So when you start primary school, you apply to a number of schools, and I applied to a few that I thought I could get into. And for some reason, I think it didn't make sense, but they said regionally, you can't go into these schools. So I had a week off, and I managed to go into my secondary school. We're like, no, you're not going there. We're going to send you here instead. Fine, cool. I think from year 7, you started seeing things fall into place. I got put into this, it's weird, it was called National Academy of Gifted and Talented Youth. And what that meant was, at the time, I was in the top 5% of the country in regards to my academic grades and my potential, and how, like, I was just a smart kid. And there was a few of us in my year, especially in my form, that had this potential. It was cool. Like, I remember, I think I still got the letter at home where it says it, and, you know, my dad got really excited by it, told all of his friends and stuff like that. So imagine being at the age of 12, being told that you're in the top 5% of the country. You know, you're a smart kid. You've got all of this potential. Naturally, it can play some pressure on you if you don't meet those grades, right? And the same situation goes for people who are what we're classed as a born athlete. And what I mean by that, they're born with this skill set where they're great at football, they're great on track, they're great in the gym, they're actually very flexible, they've got a talent for dance, ballet, whatever it is. So it can be quite pressureful. Well, I don't know if that's the right word. It can be quite draining on us if we have this potential and we don't live up to those expectations, right? Later down the line, if you're not doing the thing that possibly you told you were great at doing, it can cause a problem. And this pressure builds up. And I remember me at school, obviously top 5%. What made it worse is year 7, I actually did quite well. I got a number of awards at school in our award ceremony. I think I picked up 8 awards. I got on for that geography, history, and I think I've spoken about this on the pod before. Super excited, super gassed, very proud. I got medals at home as well. Told I was going to be cricket captain, year 7. Took that for 3 years. Like, things were going well, but the problem arises when life takes over. And what I mean by that is that we all have a life to live. We all have things that fall into place. So I'm not saying that I was distracted at school. I'm not saying that I was badly influenced by my peers at the time, but naturally, like, you fall into different things. So for instance, maybe the effort levels change because naturally you're just growing up, and that happens within childhood, right? Like, I know kids right now who were so into their education from an early age in primary school, but come secondary school, different scenario, different environment, hormones kick in, mindset just changes a little bit more differently. What had happened was, from year 7 to basically year 11, had predicted grades, etc., and I didn't meet them. And so getting into college wasn't a problem, but like, it creates that knock-on effect. So imagine year 7, number of awards, 8 awards or something like that. Year 8 gets nominated for the award ceremony again, not knowing what you're going to get. one award I got nominated for, and I didn't even win it. And then my dad, I remember him saying something across the lines of like, why the hell did we turn up here for? What happened? It sticks. It sticks. And you carry that. Now, some people get over it, but I don't think you subconsciously get over it because it still holds weight up in here. And what tends to happen is like, as you go on in life, that pressure still builds. So getting into college, I said to myself, I'll do 4 A levels versus doing the standard 3. And I again predicted grades, was going to smash it, but didn't. Fell short ever so slightly. So I think I was predicted A star, AA, B, or something like that. And I needed an A star, AA to get into the university choices I picked. And I got A, B, B, C. At this time, I'm going through clearing and I'm thinking, shit, what do I do? Like, do I retake the year? What happens? Anyway, got into uni, sick. And I think this is where the mindset slowly changed, maybe being outside of that environment, and like smash uni, the best way I could, very, very comfortable. Got my first, excellent. Then got a graduate job, excellent. Got my ACA for a number of failures, excellent. What I'd slowly forgotten was this pressure that was built up from a young age, that I was meant to be this golden child. I was meant to be very successful. I was meant to be earning a certain salary, going down this career route, etc., 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 etc. And when you grow up with that potential, the minute that you like fall under the bar, it puts significant pressure on you, because you possibly are now wondering what everyone else thinks. And if you're like me right now, who just doesn't care, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't care whether or not this video generates a number of views. Like, it obviously you want to build a platform, and you would love to see it grow in a certain way. But ideally, the reason why I do this podcast is to help educate, to help give people a platform, to help share a story, and to help you become more unfiltered in your life, right? That's my goal with what I'm doing right now. But before, it may have been a case of, shit, I'm not getting the views right now. What do I do? Oh shit, like, people are giving me bad feedback. What do I do? Do I stop? Do I change it? And like, that potential can really play a part. That mindset's changed. And that came through coaching, and that came through excessive work on myself to let go of what people have put on this pedestal that I had to live up to. But if you're in this situation right now where you're in this boat where you still feel the same, you know, right now you're in a position right now where you feel, damn it, I could have done more. I could have done more. That's going to play with your head, and it's really not healthy. It's not a healthy place to be. Because if you think of it in your life right now, if you were meant to be a doctor and you're changed your career path and you're now a pharmacist, that could put subconscious pressure on you. You're meant to be this, and now all of a sudden you're this. But in your head, you feel like it's over here. What's that going to do for the rest of your life? You know, if you were born an athlete, let's say hypothetically, and you hear about it in the stories where you've got, or in the news per se, where you've got academy kids drop out of football, or not selected to play for their club, don't know what to do with their life, and possibly go down a really, really dark path where in some really scary situations have committed suicide. It's terrible, right? This is what having potential can do. And what we don't teach the kids of today, what we don't teach our little brothers, our little cousins, our nephews and nieces, is the fact that it's okay. We don't put them on this pedestal. We still may subconsciously be doing that. And it's very detrimental to mental health when you look at it on the grand scheme of things. I know for me, despite the fact that I had got a first class at uni in Maths of Economics, and I was studying towards my ACA alongside my peers, I naturally still felt I wasn't good enough. I wasn't worthy enough to be on the table with them. Now that's a terrible feeling to have, right? What had they done differently to me? Some of them went to different universities. Some of them didn't get a first. Some of them had a master's. Some of them didn't. Some of them were a couple years older than me. Like, it made no difference whatsoever in regards to what they had done. We were on this path together trying to study, but in my head, because I felt this potential I never met, I always felt like I was always behind everyone else. Now, what can that do for you long term? If you were meant to get through life where you're meant to study well, get a good job, get married at a certain age, live in this certain kind of house, all of this bullshit that's ingrained within us from a young age in regards to what it can do to your mental health. And if you're in those situations right now where you feel subconsciously, shit, I'm not making my parents happy right now. You know, I'm struggling to really live up to what every opportunity they gave me. Right now, you're probably listening to this or watching this and you're thinking to yourself, fuck, I'm in that boat because they gave me everything. And I was too afraid to say, I don't want to study this. I was too afraid to say, I need a little bit of extra help. Me, I never got tutoring. You know, I never had extra tuition until I studied my ACA because I needed to pass those exams. I never actually went out of my way to require extra help. If I put my hand up and said to mom and dad at the time, yo, it is a bit difficult. I don't understand X, Y, and Z. I don't think I'm feeling like 100%. Could I get some extra help? Sick. But when you're built up with this potential that you're meant to be number one, it could fuck with your head. You may not ask for that help. You may not ask for that assistance. And this is one of the biggest things that affects us today, not necessarily educationally, academically, professionally, but even in our personal lives. When people say to you, oh, you're beautiful, you're going to have the man of your dreams. You're going to have beautiful babies. Or in my situation, oh, you look handsome, you're tall, you got a great job, etc. You're going to make a woman very proud, honestly. What happens if you don't? What happens if you're insecure internally about the way you look or the way you present yourself or the way you talk about your job or your passions and your hobbies? What happens if you're still healing from an ex-relationship and you're just trying to like progress this through and it's taking a little bit longer than you initially anticipated? All of this shit that people are throwing in your direction is really going to affect you long term. And so we need to consciously get ourselves to a place where we stop doing that. How? Well, if you're stuck right now, you really need to take some time back and really assess where you're at. Be honest with yourself in regards to you're still dealing with these pressures from a young age, and ask yourself, what am I doing right now that's not serving me? What could I be doing differently? And what I mean by that is not necessarily picking up the phone and saying, yo, Pri, can we chat? Because after listening to this podcast, I feel like I'm going through that right now. We need to talk about it. Coaching might not be the answer. It could be picking up a book and learning about something. It could be a case of speaking up to a manager and telling them X, Y, and Z. It could be generally sitting your mum and dad down and asking them those questions and getting that reassurance before you've even got to a stage where you need extra assistance. I really would take it very seriously if you're in this boat right now where you feel like you've been dealt a hand, where you're meant to have all of this potential, you're meant to be the best version of you. And despite the fact you feel you're living your life right now trying to be the best version of you, you still feel like you're second place or third place. That's gonna hurt. That is really gonna hurt. Nothing's ever going to be good enough. Nothing's ever going to make you happy. You're never going to feel fulfilled. What kind of life is that? I want you to just sit with that. This is a very short episode around this. Reason why, because it came up with me a couple of months ago when I had to speak about it. One of my friends said to me, bro, I don't care what you think. And shout out to my guy still for saying that. He said to me, yo, you have all this. I used to think I always had this potential. I never was reaching it. And he said to me, mate, the number of people you're helping right now, the fact that you don't even see it is astronomical. You weren't doing this before, you're doing this now. So never ever think that you're not adding value. You are living to your potential. If not, you're exceeding it. You're doing things you possibly never would have done before. You're doing things, and I'm proud of you. I didn't need that validation, but just hearing it was a gentle reminder that I was once upon a time living my life thinking that I'm never going to reach the standards that I should be reaching. But the fact that I am right now in my own lane, not worried about what other people think, and I'm just comfortably getting by, pushing myself into uncomfortable scenarios and just trying to make the most of the situation, learning, growing and evolving, it adds its weight long term. So yeah, just wanted to get that out there. Very, very short episode. Again, I really feel like some of this kind of short form content adds a bit more value versus maybe like a good hour episode with a guest. So yeah, I love being on the mic and I love sharing these stories with you and these experiences and hope they add value. So yeah, this has been your boy Uncle Pri. Thank you a lot for listening. And again, as I say at the end of every episode, if you want to get in touch and being on the podcast, if you want to share your story, if you want to share your experience, what you're doing currently in life right now, if you feel like you can add value, or most importantly, you just want to get on the mic and get unfiltered about something, hit your boy up and let's see if we can put something together. On the flip side of that, if you enjoy these kind of episodes and you want me to touch base into particular tips, stories, topics, let your boy know. Obviously, I could try my best and get in here and get that out to you. But yeah, I hope you lot have enjoyed. Please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe. You know, we need to keep building this. But yeah, thank you again. And yeah, I'll catch you in a bit. It's been your boy Uncle Pri and I'm signing out. Peace.